3rd, 1757, the Marquis de Montcalm landed at Artillery Cove, just to the northwest, and began what would become a 6-day siege of Fort William Henry. French forces moved their guns forward day by day, focusing their efforts on the northwest bastion until they were within 150 yards of the walls. The British, colonial, and Native American defenders put up a gallant fight. However, with their artillery exploding due to overuse and no aid being sent from Fort Edward, Lieutenant Colonel Monroe was forced to surrender on August the 9th, 1757. Montcalm offered generous terms to the garrison. The terms of surrender are as follows. Article 1. The garrison of Fort William Henry and the troops in the entrenched camp adjoining shall march out with arms and other honors of war, the baggage of officers and of the soldiers only. They shall proceed to Fort Edward, escorted by a detachment of French troops and some officers and interpreters attached to the Indians, and at an early hour tomorrow morning. Article 2. The gate of the fort shall be delivered up to the troops of His Most Christian Majesty after the signing of the capitulation and the entrenched camp on the departure of His Britannic Majesty's troops. Article 3. All the artilleries, warlike stores, provisions, and in general everything except the effects of the officers and soldiers specified in the first article shall upon honor be delivered up to the troops of His Most Christian Majesty. And with that view, an extract inventory of the property herein mentioned shall be delivered after the capitulation, observing that this article includes the fort, entrenchment, and dependencies. Article 4. The garrison of the fort, entrenched camp, and dependencies shall not be at liberty to serve for 18 months, reckoning from this date against His Most Christian Majesty, nor against his allies, and with the capitulation shall furnish an exact return of his troops, wherein shall be set forth the names of the officers, majors, other officers, engineers, artillery officers, commissaries, and employees. Article 5. All officers, soldiers, Canadians, women, and Indians taken on land since the commencement of this war in North America shall be delivered and carry on within the space of 3 months on the receipt of the French commandments, to whom they shall be at liberty to serve, according to the return which shall be given in thereof by the English officer who will have charge of the prisoners. Article 6. An officer shall be given as a hostage until the return of the detachment, which will be furnished as an escort for this Britannic Majesty's troops. Article 7. All the sick and wounded who are not in a condition to be removed to Fort Edward shall remain under the protection of the Marquis de Montcalm, who will take proper care of them and return them immediately after they are cured. Article 8. Provision for the subsistence of said troops shall be issued for this day and tomorrow only. Article 9. The Marquis de Montcalm, being willing to show Lieutenant Colonel Monroe and his garrison some token of his esteem, on account of their honorable defense, grants them 1 piece of cannon, a 6-pounder. Done at noon, in the trenches before Fort William Henry, the 9th of August, 1757. Following the surrender, the British garrison moved from the fort to the entrenched camp located east of our location in what is now Battlefield Park. As they began the march to Fort Edward the next day, allies of the French broke the terms of surrender, which resulted in what became known as the massacre at Fort William Henry. Please join me as we honor all those who fought and died on this soil with a wreath laying at the military cemetery.
tell the colonel what to do.